They say when you know, that when you fall in love and you find the person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with, in an instant, you feel it. Like a jolt of energy. Or like the warm, fuzzy feeling you get when you come into a warm house after being out in the snow. In my case, I guess you could say that I got a warm, fuzzy feeling when I met my wife for the first time. But the beginning of our relationship was anything but warm and fuzzy. This is the one with how I met my wife. The summer of 2019 was one that I definitely can say was not my greatest. I had been flailing a lot. I was dealing with a lot of emotional issues. I had been dealing with breaking up with my ex, trying to rebuild my life, having to go to work and see my ex every day, while also trying to maintain friendships, relationships with my family, and trying to rebuild basically my entire financial freedom since I spent a majority of my money in my relationship with my ex. So, in May of 2019, I was not expecting to swipe right on someone that would one day become my wife. But I did. In May of 2019, I was scrolling through Bumble, just minding my business, just swiping left and right on just random women. I was not looking for a relationship. I was not looking for a full-blown situation. But when I came across this gorgeous woman from Philly, I decided to take my shot and swipe right. And wouldn't you have it, it was a match. Our initial conversations were pretty basic about what we did for a living. She was a flight attendant. I was in restaurant management. She worked a lot and was out of town a lot, and I worked basically every day and had no free time. So, what started out as just a conversation about life and everything kind of led us into this weird friendship place. Over the course of 2 months, we basically spent all day and all night talking to each other on the phone. We talked on the app, we exchanged numbers, we talked on the phone, and everything in between. Things just felt natural. Like I didn't have to worry about what I was saying. I didn't have to feel worried about coming off too eager, too interesting, too weird. I didn't have to think twice about how I appeared because I could just be myself. And for the first time in my entire life, I didn't have to pretend to be somebody else in order to get someone's interest. Our conversations never surpassed what I thought was going to be friendship. To me, it just seemed like I had found like a best friend, someone I could talk to and just never feel any judgment. And then one day, just out of sheer curiosity, I asked a question. I asked if she found me attractive, like physically appealing. And when she told me yes, I said, well, you know what? Since I'm a self-sabotaging lesbian, why don't I shoot my shot? I considered myself self-sabotaging because what I could have had was a really great best friend, but rather I wanted to see if there was a chance we could sleep together. I thought because she worked in California, there was no way in hell we'd ever be in the same city at the same time. So, what was the danger in asking? So when she said that she wouldn't mind, experiencing that type of interaction, she said she didn't think that I would find her attractive. So we laughed about our own little weird self-esteem thing right there where we didn't think the other one would be interested. And finally just went back to normal conversation. The first week of July in 2019, I got a text message from her telling me that she wanted to meet up if I wasn't doing anything. It was a Tuesday night, and she had gone out with drinks with her friend. She was back in town for the week, and she said, I wanted to see if maybe we could meet up. My friend had taken me out for dinner and drinks, and I'm a little tipsy, and I was kind of wondering, if you were up and up for some company, maybe we could meet face to face. I wasn't doing anything. I was just hanging out watching TV. So, me being my normal thottish self decided that I was going to dress head to toe in lingerie and answer the door all sexy and all, appealing and everything else and see if I could actually get into the girl's pants. Well, she knocked on the door, and I was so happy to see that she looked like her pictures. She told her friend she was okay to go and that she would get a lift home. And the two of us went up into my room and just started talking. We talked about TV, we talked about music, we talked about everything. And I kind of gave I made the first move, considering the fact that I was half naked. And we had sex. And it wasn't planned. It wasn't like she gone over there with the intent of doing it. We actually laughed because she even said it herself. She said, if I would have came all the way over here for sex, I think I would have made sure I was properly groomed. But I was like, bitch, I eat Starburst with the paper still on it, so it don't matter to me. So after we had our little, sexy time, we just sat there and just talked, and it just felt so natural. Then, a little bit late into the evening, she decided to call an Uber and go home. When she left, I didn't really know what to do. Do I text her right away? Do I wait until tomorrow? Like, what do I do? But it just felt so natural to just be in her presence. Like, we never ran out of stuff to talk about. She was so easygoing, so funny. She laughed at all my corny jokes. So I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm a messenger. We still laugh because even to this day, she says that she didn't know whether or not to text me or not. So when I texted her, she kind of took that sigh of relief and said, good. So this way, I don't have to make the first piece of conversation. So we texted, we talked, she got home, went to sleep, and then the next day I said I wanted to see her again. I knew for a fact that she was going to have to leave to go back to work, and she was going to be gone for about 2 weeks. But now it's like I was low-key hooked. Like, it was different when we were talking all the time and we weren't in the same city. But knowing that she was only 15, 20 minutes away from me and she was right there and I could see her and we could spend time together, I didn't want to let her go. So right before she left to go back to work for 2 weeks, she came over and we just spent the whole afternoon talking, among other things. And then she left. She went back to work. And I had no idea that over the course of that 2 weeks that she was gone, that things would take a shift. She came back from work after the 2 weeks and was celebrating her son's birthday. So her mom, and her nephew and her son went away for the weekend to an amusement park. We spent the entire time at night, though, while they were in the hotel talking on the phone. And she called me that night and said that she wanted to tell me something. And she said, it might change how you feel about me and I don't want to hurt you. She said, but I wasn't completely honest with you about my situation. She said, I'm currently separated from my husband and we're on the road to divorce, but I'm still legally married. We're just separated. And I hope that that doesn't change how you feel about me or change the fact that we might actually be able to make a relationship work because I really do like you. I didn't know what to do. I had been involved with women that were married. I was involved with women that were single. I was involved with people that were divorced. I'd basically dated and fooled around with basically every variation of woman in the world. And so, but this one felt different. From the time that we met and we started seeing each other regularly, I couldn't get enough of her. But I also knew that it's not easy for someone to be honest about something like that. And she could have just kept it a secret. I mean, for fuck's sake, she was a flight attendant. We would only really be able to see each other when she was in town. And when she wasn't, she was working. I wouldn't mind just being someone that she came to see when she was free. I didn't care if she still stayed married and had her family and everything and just saw me on the side. It wouldn't have bothered me. I just wanted her. And because of my own experience with divorce and children, I would never want to be the other woman, the one who took someone's mother away from their father. So I told her that. I said, well, if you want to fix your marriage and we could just be friends, we could be friends with benefits, whatever it is you want. And she said, I got to think about it. Well, I'm assuming that she thought about it and later decided that her and her husband just weren't going to resolve their issues. That she was just going to keep it going on the way to divorce, and we were going to build a relationship together as a couple. And that was definitely something that I was not expecting her to do. I was never the person people chose. Like I said, I dated people, I fooled around with people, but I was never the choice. Like, if there was another option, I was never the person people chose. So to have someone who genuinely got to know me, feel things for me, and want to be with me over somebody else was different. The feeling that I got when it happened was confusing. Because how do you accept the fact that you aren't the second choice anymore? That you aren't the consolation prize. You aren't the second option. Someone chose you. So I guess in that moment, I knew that feeling that you get when you realize that you found the person you're supposed to be with. That's when it hit me. When I was the choice, that's when I felt it. And I knew it was going to be a long road to us being able to be together in that capacity, because I know it's not an easy thing to deal with. You know, it's not just boom, divorce relationship. No, there's a road, there's a process. There were a lot of things to put into consideration. There were children involved. There was family involved. There was another human being who was going to be affected by this. And it was going to hurt that person. And I'm not a bad person. I don't consider myself to be a bad person. I don't go out of my way to hurt people. I literally would rather die than ever cause another human being pain. And I knew that no matter how things went, no matter what choice was made, that I was going to be looked at as the bad person. There is no right way to be looked at. There is no right way for people to view this situation. I was a single woman who got involved with someone knowing they were married and kept the relationship going anyway. I then supported the person when they decided that they wanted to get a divorce in order to be with me full time. I was going to be looked at as the bad guy. No one's going to be mad at the person who, made the choice. No one's going to be mad at the person who was getting left. So it was all going to be on me. And I didn't really know how to handle it. But a part of me knew that I didn't want to not be with this girl. After being with her, spending time with her, I didn't want to not know her. It was like everything that I'd been waiting for, everything that I worked so hard for to find in a person, every bad relationship, every awful interaction with another person, it was like it all leaded up to this. Like, that corny expression when people say that you had to kiss a lot of frogs to find your prince. I literally did that. I was with some awful, terrible people. I accepted horrible things from people because I didn't want to be alone. I'd been hurt by so many people that the actual idea that a person would want to be with me and not leave was just so foreign to me. And even if people listening to this think that I should have just left it alone, that I shouldn't have been with her, that I shouldn't have did it, when you wait as long as I waited to find my soulmate, I wasn't going to let anything get in my way. Not an ex, not a disapproving family, not any of it. And trust me when I tell you that it was more than just getting past the obstacle or the barricade that was another relationship. It wasn't just the idea that, this person had to get divorced and, get out of that other relationship. We had no idea all the other barriers and obstacles that were going to be in our way. And it was a long road, and it wasn't an easy one. And a lot of things happened, and We broke up a lot throughout that process. We left each other. We quit on each other a few times, but at the end of all of it, I knew in my heart of hearts that we were supposed to be together. So after being together from July, we dated and got to know each other and spent an awful lot of time together. From July to December, we were together basically all the time. She ended up having to quit her job as a flight attendant and move back home and trying to find a job here on the ground. And in January, at the start of the new year of 2020, she asked me to move in with her. And I did. And that was something that I had never had before. I had been in relationships with people, I had dated people for a while, but no one had ever taken that step with me. And I think that's one of the reasons why I knew that this was the person I was supposed to be with, because all of the things that everyone else quit on me for, all of the things that other people didn't believe in me, all the things that other people took for granted, she saw as a positive. She lifted me up. She brought me out of my depression. She welcomed me into her life. She made me a mom. Like, I never thought I'd ever be a mom. And even though I may not biologically have children, her boys became my boys. And she gave me a gift that I've never, ever been able to repay her for. Motherhood's been good to me, and it's changed me, and it's helped me grow as a person. Being loved the right way after all these years of begging for it from people that didn't even deserve my attention, let alone my love. I guess the moral of this story is, don't ever give up. If you're someone who wants love, who wants to be in a relationship, who wants a future with someone, who wants to build something with someone, don't let anything or anybody tell you you don't deserve it. But although our story didn't stop there, that's where I'm going to stop it today. Oh, but don't worry. The part 2 to this has a lot more intense drama, a lot of what the fuck moments. But I did want to share the beginning part of our relationship with you guys, because to me it was the quintessential love story. One was broken. The other had given up. But together they rebuilt something stronger. And sometimes when you find someone that's willing to build with you and be patient with you and love you and support you through anything, no matter what it takes, you go for it.